Okay.
So Representative Ivy, with the law of doing away with statute of limitations, I have a little confusion with it. In my own family, unfortunately, we have dealt with abuse. And when we approached the police after this 2015 law that you mentioned was passed, they indicated that it was only civil statute of limitations that, you know, it applied to, and that we couldn't criminally charge the people who abused these people in my family.
Right. First of all, I'm sorry to hear that. It's amazing how prevalent it is. It really is tragic how prevalent it is. Yeah, you have a criminal statute of limitations and civil statute of limitations. Civil is where you go after the person for damages that were caused to you. Criminal, obviously, they can go to jail and be punished that way. There was a law, I don't remember exactly when, I think it was in the 90s, that the criminal statute of limitations was eliminated for sexual abuse of children. In Utah, we used to have only a 1-year statute of limitations. Children had to bring a case in 1 year of turning 18. And then in the 90s, we changed that to 4 years. And then it was just in 2015 that we eliminated the civil statute of limitations. And so there can be some areas where there are discovery rules and other things you want to check with an attorney on the criminal side. But
do you think it's ever possible to do away with the limitations on the criminal side?
Well, so the limitation is gone, but going backwards, so reviving a limitation, that really isn't possible. When you take, they consider someone has a liberty interest on the criminal side, because if you take them criminally now, then they lose their liberty. On the civil side, it's not the same standard.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
So it would be harder. In fact, constitutionally, it would be impossible to revive a criminal statute of limitations. But there may be other ways. When did they discover? How did they know that it happened? And in some cases, the defendants don't even challenge. The Brown situation, my understanding there, with the 5 Browns, the father didn't challenge the statute of limitations. But if I may then share the story that we talked about. Back in, I believe it was in the 80s, there was a young girl, her name was Terry Mitchell. And she was out in the park in Salt Lake with her 2 friends, and they were African American. And there happened to be a white supremacist type in the park, and he shot and killed her 2 friends right in front of her, shot her and left her for dead. They found the perpetrator and put him on trial, and she's the star witness. This young woman's name is Terry Mitchell. She's the star witness in this trial. And the federal prosecutor preparing her for her trial in his hotel room repeatedly sexually abuses her and tells her, if you tell this person that shot your friends and killed them, that shot you and left you for dead, if you tell what we're doing, he won't go to prison. I mean, that's the type of intimidation, the type of shame, the type of abuse, that the psychological abuse and conditioning and it is
and trauma, which we'll talk more about next week too.
And it continues for decades.
Yeah.
So he abuses her. This federal prosecutor goes on to be the chief judge of the D.C. District Court, federal court. And because of the law that we passed in 2016, the House Bill 279 that restored her rights to bring claims that had passed, that had lapsed, she then prepared to bring a case. Her attorney is Rocky Anderson, the former mayor of Salt Lake, and on the very day that she filed her claim under the law that we passed, this judge had gotten wind of what was coming, and he prepared his retirement so he could secure his retirement and then resigned from the bench the very day that her claim came out. So he's now challenging her case right here in Salt Lake, in federal district court in Salt Lake, challenging the law that the legislature passed with the voice of so many people that had pulled together in the legislature that passed that, saying the legislature had no authority to restore her claims. So that's being challenged in federal court right now, Angela, and there is nothing more important that we could get people to do to stand up and write to the newspapers, write letters to the editors, write to the judge.
Absolutely.
Write to Rocky Anderson and ask how they can help him. But that's something that we can do, every one of us, to stand up and make our voice heard to protect these rights for people in your family. I would imagine if we were to ask how many people have been affected in this room, it would be virtually everyone.
Almost everyone,
And again, Liliana, just to thank you for coming forward. Your voice makes a difference, and one voice, whether it's to a letter to the editor, telling someone else, writing to the judge in this case, one voice makes a difference. We can change our communities, we can change the world, and being able to work forward on additional legislation, happy to work with you. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you standing up, and it is such a brave thing. It's so hard for so many, and you're giving a voice to many that simply don't feel courageous enough because of what they've suffered to come forward. So you, as a 10-year-old girl, have the ability to help so many people and really change our state and change the world. And so I'm grateful to you.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And we'll end with a fight song.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. I might only have one match, but I can make an explosion. And all those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brains, I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove them my right song. My power's turned on. I started right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. I'm losing friends and I'm chasing sleep. Everybody's worried about me. I'm in too deep. They say I'm in too deep. And it's been 2 years and I miss my home. There's a fire burning in my bones, but I still believe. Yeah, I still believe. And all those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brains, I will scream them loud tonight. Can you hear my voice this time? This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove them my right song. My power's turned on. I started right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight left in me. A lot of fight left in me.
Like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion. Like how a single word can make a heart open. And I only have one match, and I can make an explosion. This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. My power's turned up. Started right now. I'll be strong. Then play my fight song. And I don't really care 'cause nobody else believes, 'cause I still got a lot of fight life in me.
Yeah, I still
Still got a lot of fight life in me.
right. 3, 2, 1, turn the cameras off.
That was beautiful.
So we did reboot in the middle of that, but we have all the audio recorded, and we could repost. We had a small software problem with OBS, and so it was cutting down the audio. OBS is the software we use to process the video for Facebook.